The National Aviation Gender Summit will be held at the Gallagher International Convention Centre in Midrand this Friday. The event aims to further gender representation in a sector traditionally dominated by men. We're joined by the South African Civil Aviation Authority CEO, Khoza. Good evening, Ms. Khoza. Thank you for your time. An important summit, especially for advancing the presence of women in the sector.
Good evening, Kathy. Happy Women's Month, and thank you for inviting me to have this important discussion, which really seeks to have a discussion in terms of how the Department of Transport, as a lead department on aviation matters, together with its public entities, could have a meaningful discussion to address the gender gap. As you would know, perhaps civil aviation remains one of the untransformed sectors of our economy, both from a gender perspective but also racially. But when we discuss on Friday, the 19th of August, our focus will really be on the gender issues. And we are quite excited to gather again with like-minded organizations, the airlines, the airports, air traffic and navigation services, the Department of Transport, and many women, aviation professionals even, who will come together to have a discussion to really gauge, the successes that we have made in the recent past, but also address the challenges that we are still confronted with, at this day and age. And it is important that we continue to have this discussion until such time that we see meaningful transformation in the aviation sector, both addressing the issues of technical skills, but also women in leadership, which of course has been really in the shortage. But equally, there are many beautiful success stories that we have seen, particularly in this year, where we've seen, the appointment of a woman CEO at the Air Traffic and Navigation Services. Airports Company South Africa is led by a woman. The South African Civil Aviation Authority is led by a woman. And we also have a very dedicated Deputy Minister of Transport who is quite a strong proponent on issues of gender equality, particularly in this sector, which is struggling to transform meaningfully.
You talk about the challenges to transformation in the sector. What are key among those challenges? What is preventing that transformation?
Honestly, some of the things that, we are seeing is that the awareness about this sector is very thin, which is why one of the programs that we are advocating at the South African Civil Aviation Authority is to create awareness by visiting the rural areas and, just talk really about what civil aviation is about as an alternative career for young women in particular, but also, young men, because we find that quite often there is a perception that aviation is really a sector for a privileged few, and would want to demystify that notion. We see civil aviation as a mode of public transportation, which should in fact be accessible to anyone, both from the skills, but also from a mobility point of view, to the masses of our country. In our view, we have not even scratched the surface in terms of ensuring that people really use civil aviation as a means of, either conducting business, moving from one place to another, the cargo opportunities, the movement of cargo, and many others. And we believe that conversations such as these ones, where we create awareness, where we engage women, to say they do have a space, in this sector, to engage women to take up the leadership positions, for instance, has really been, some of the challenges. But it's very difficult to transform something that is unknown, which is why on a yearly basis, we've taken a deliberate decision to converge and have these discussions on an ongoing basis. And we believe we are on the right track to, try and deal with these challenges, which are systemic in nature. For instance, what we are also picking up, or what we have seen, is that access into civil aviation is a huge barrier, because training, for instance, for technical skills, whether you want to become a pilot, an air traffic controller, an aircraft maintenance engineer, aeronautical engineer, and so on. It is quite expensive. And the big question, which is why we are having this summit, which honestly, gathers the captains of the industry, who some of them are going to be taking the lead in the discussion. How do we, break down those barriers such that a young girl in Qunu, a young girl in Muntu, in KwaZulu-Natal, who has never seen an airport, nor seen anyone who, resembles anything that has anything to do with flying, what do we do to ensure that, we spark that interest? But as we spark the interest and the awareness, we equally make it, the resources available for them to take up any, career within this space. So it's all those discussions that we are really, focusing on, particularly in this coming Friday.
All right, let's leave it there for tonight. CEO of the Civil Aviation Authority, Poppy Khoza.